Waste Diversion Curriculum and Toolkit, engaging and connecting with K-12 students in the Yampa Valley through waste diversion education. Oh, and I'm Caitlin Geppert. So a little about me. I wear many hats, but this summer I've been working at Bear Park Permaculture Gardens at Colorado Mountain College here in Steamboat. In addition to doing the YVSC internship program, I'm going to be going back to school this fall to finish my senior year of the Bachelor's of Sustainability program, and I also sub at the middle school in the school year. Prior to pursuing my bachelor's degree, I graduated from CMC with my Associates of Arts and my Associates of Applied Science in early childhood education. I worked as an early childhood educator for many years, but when the pandemic hit, like many, I had time to reflect and I decided to pursue my bachelor's in sustainability. Being a mother has definitely influenced and inspired me to pursue sustainability as I think about the future for my children and future generations. So I had the pleasure of being mentored by YVSC's Waste Diversion Director Wayne Cowman and Zero Waste Coordinator Dakota Dolan. Not only were they incredibly knowledgeable and supportive, but also truly inspiring in the work they are doing. So why the need for a waste diversion curriculum and toolkit? So first of all, YVSC receives requests to give lessons on waste diversion topics. Also, community members look to YVSC for answers on their waste diversion questions, as waste diversion is one of YVSC's priority areas. And the hope is to foster awareness with our K-12 population so they can become informed and empowered, but also want to discuss these topics with their families. So Yampatika is a local organization that specializes in environmental education. So early on in the process of developing this waste diversion toolkit, I was able to connect with Cheryl Horton, Yampatika's school programs manager, and Haley Cunningham, Yampatika's water education coordinator. They provided me with some great insight on things to consider when developing my lesson plans, as well as how to approach waste diversion as it is a large and all-encompassing topic. Yeah, the main goal of this project is to meet our community's enthusiasm and curiosity on the topic of waste diversion by developing informative and engaging K-12 learning activities that foster a general understanding of waste diversion, but also focus on local efforts and ways to get involved. The K-12 waste diversion curriculum and toolkit consists of the following: a waste diversion poster that explains and sparks conversation about the big picture of waste diversion and its various elements, a composting and recycling lesson that are separate but similar in structure that both include a sorting activity and an interactive approach to understanding the scientific process of composting, as well as how our recyclables are sorted and processed. I also created informative PowerPoint presentations about local waste diversion resources, including the Yampa Valley Recycles Depot, Cowgirl Compost, and Twin Enviro's Material Recovery Facility. In addition, I compiled a list of locations and contact information for potential field trip destinations in hopes that students can get a firsthand experience of local waste diversion efforts. I also developed 2 lesson plans on the topic of recycling. One is a science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics activity. Basically, students are tasked with designing their own materials recovery facility that will separate recyclable materials. They are encouraged to think creatively and innovatively using elements such as air, magnets, etc., to separate all the mixed materials. The second lesson plan is intended to promote recycling literacy and reduce contamination in the school recycling bins. Students will research which materials can be recycled at their school based on the company that hauls their trash and recycling. They will create posters to promote proper recycling and then conduct a waste audit to measure contamination. As I was going through the process of gathering information and researching, I put any other helpful resources in a folder for reference. Okay, this is a snippet of the trial run that I did with the City of Steamboat Springs Summer Camp, and it was on composting. And in this video, you'll see them making a human compost pile.
We need Mark as well.
And these are some photos from the recycling lesson trial run that I did with the Yampatika summer camp. We discussed the topic of waste diversion, then specifically recycling and how it works here in the Yampa Valley. We did a sorting game and then a big body movement game outside called Recyclables and Haulers, which is a tag / sorting game. And then we had Coca-Cola gummy bottles to keep with our theme of recycling as we reflected on what we learned. So some key takeaways. I'll let her in too. That I learned were that kids are inherently interested and engage easily with the topics of waste diversion. I was really surprised by their background and prior knowledge on this subject. They asked very relevant and important questions, and they were able to understand and grasp the concepts that were being presented. Some other YVSC projects I participated in during my internship included working the Zero Waste events and visiting the Yampa Valley Recycles Depot, Cowgirl Compost, and the Twin Enviro Materials Recovery Facility. Some personal takeaways. I learned a lot more in depth about how waste diversion efforts are developing in the Yampa Valley. And it's very encouraging to see how much growth and expansion has taken place in this area. I learned how much work goes into zero waste events and how incredibly effective they are, and how important it is to have somebody at the station to help and educate people. I also learned about YVSC as an organization, which I found to be very hopeful because As a sustainability student, it can feel frustrating at times, like change isn't happening or it's not happening at the rate it needs to. So it was very encouraging to see that things are happening and they're happening here in our community. I want to acknowledge Wynn Cowman, YVSC Waste Diversion Director, Dakota Dolan, Zero Waste Coordinator, Nicole Pepper, Geospatial Analyst and Internship Program Manager, Cheryl Horton, Yampatika School Program Manager, Haley Cunningham, Yampatika Water Education Coordinator, Reese Wells, Yampatika Camp and Family Programs Manager, Ann Preston, City of Steamboat Springs Parks and Recreation Coordinator, all the YBS staff, and my fellow interns.